If you are a nice guy or a people pleaser, that means you are constantly living in the tension between your own needs and those needs that you think others might have. It is a draining road of overthinking and anticipating what others might deem as a positive experience with you just so that you feel validated. And in the process, you are completely sidetracking yourself. I will share with you 3 habits that must end right now. Social events and invitations. We're talking about accepting any type of invitation because you're afraid that you will offend the person if you say no. Being overly flexible with your time, right? To say, yes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's all good, I have nothing to do, or I will make time. And as a third part of this, staying longer than you would want to. All these things, again, are extremely common people-pleasing practices. As you're afraid that this person would not invite you anymore or would be offended if you say no. Well, let me paint you a picture. What if that happens? What if you have an acquaintance or a friend that will literally stop inviting you for shit when you say no one time? Is that the kind of friend that you, as a high-value man, would want, right? Do you think that it would be good for him to have you as a friend? What we forget when we talk about people pleasing and being a Mr. Nice Guy is that we always say you need to start prioritizing yourself. And while this is extremely true, and it definitely starts there, we're forgetting the other side, which is you're also not doing the other person a favor by being a friend to someone you should not be a friend with, right? If you are here and the other person is here, or it's vice versa, you're different. You're on different energy levels. You're different personalities. You don't match well. Then why would you go to his level all the time? Why would you conform to his level unauthentically? You're not doing him a favor and you're not doing yourself a favor. The advice usually ends at, hey man, you should start prioritizing yourself, become more assertive and confident. Yes, those are the ways to do it. But if you are a people pleaser or a Mr. Nice Guy, then you're sitting there listening to that advice like, yeah, fuck, I know that, but now I feel only more pressured, I need to be more assertive, okay? Why? We always feel pressured when we have to do something for our own happiness. Weirdly enough, right? If you have a full-time job, then you will be on time every day. But once you start a business yourself, it's pretty hard to start every day at the same time. Why? Because we don't want to disappoint others more than we don't want to disappoint ourselves. So I'm telling you, stopping to be a people pleaser and a Mr. Nice Guy is not only for your benefit, it is for the benefit of everyone around you. Paradoxically, you will actually start to give people positive experiences with you as soon as you start to be aligned with yourself and your own needs. So if all the friends that you have right now fall by the wayside the moment you cancel one of their plans, good. This needed to happen way earlier. So then number 2, laughing at everything and filling all the silences. Again, this comes from a place of I need to provide a positive experience so people will not abandon me or validate me. But you are achieving, like with all the things coming from a people-pleasing Mr. Nice Guy corner, you're actually creating an uncomfortable experience for other people. If you cannot handle the silence because you're uncomfortable or you're afraid the other person will be uncomfortable, that actually makes people very uncomfortable. You must understand that you're achieving the opposite. You want to create a comfortable experience for the other person so much that you're creating an uncomfortable experience for the other person. While you yourself are also uncomfortable, constantly feeling the need to laugh at every shitty joke that wasn't even funny, filling every silence, you can actually say to yourself, hey, I don't need to do that. I can just be authentic and have a pure interaction, being in the moment. In the process, the other person will be more comfortable. And lastly, conforming to everything, saying yes to everything. This goes more in the day-to-day interactions, right? The salesman is at the door, you're doing something, and from the get-go, you already know that you don't have money to invest in some kind of charity. But then you stand there, unable to cut through him or to say that you're not interested, and you stand there nodding for 5 minutes against your will, as this sales guy is rambling on, but you already knew in the first second that you were not going to buy anything from it. So both of you are standing there wasting your time. You're extremely uncomfortable, annoyed with yourself that you didn't get the courage to end the conversation in the beginning. This is a very elaborate example of how this need to conform with everything manifests itself in your life. How to practice this? You simply need to dive deep into the discomfort here. Start with strangers or salespeople handing out things, or homeless people that are asking you for things on the street, by simply looking him in the eye and simply saying no. Not even no thank you, but no. Just the word no. Start practicing the use of this word everywhere you can. Even though you will feel like an asshole in the beginning a little bit, this is truly expanding yourself. It will make you feel more free as a person. Whereas you are now, as a people pleaser, really in this limited box of perception. Every time you say no, you are expanding yourself. You feel more free in the things that you can say and the way you can act in this world.